Today we're making the best, fluffiest mashed potatoes. It might not be immediately obvious why anyone would need a recipe for mashed potatoes, but there are actually a couple of tricks there you need to know to get the best result. Before I get too far, I'm Julia from Vikalinka.com. Subscribe to our channel for more reliable recipes. So I guess if we're making mashed potatoes, it's important to speak about potatoes themselves, and not all potatoes are created equal. They are equally delicious, but they are created for different purposes. So for mashed potatoes, we always need to choose the type that is often called either floury or starchy. They're the type of potatoes that fall apart, and they're really great for mashing and fluffing up. On the other hand, you have potatoes that are called waxy, and that's the kind of potato you want to use a potato salad. If you use waxy potatoes for mashed potatoes, you will end up with potatoes that are like glue, and nobody likes that. So the potatoes I'm using, I'm in the UK, so the potatoes I'm using here are King Edwards. If you're in the US, russet potatoes are great for mashed potatoes. So the main ingredients for great and classic mashed potatoes are potatoes, milk, butter, and salt. And when I say butter, you actually need quite a bit of butter. So I have 5 potatoes here, and I'm going to use 100 grams of butter. That's just what you need to make them taste good. So then we're going to switch it up a little bit and add to the classic flavors that everyone enjoys. So I'm going to have roasted garlic, and I'm going to add some herbs. I kind of drew inspiration from the ranch dressing. Everybody loves it. It's garlic, chives, dill, and parsley, and this is what I'm going with. I excluded chives simply because I didn't have any. As much as we all love garlic, it's impossible to put a whole head of garlic raw in your mashed potatoes for it to taste good. It's just going to be too strong, and no one is going to want to be around you. So what we're going to do, we're going to roast this entire head, and this will mellow out the flavor. So to do that, we need a piece of aluminum foil that I'm going to fold in half. I just cut the top of the head of the garlic because we need to expose the cloves. And I'm going to put it inside and simply wrap. I've got my preheated oven there, and I'm going to put it in. For the size of this head, it's going to be about 30 to 35 minutes. If you have a bigger head, it's probably going to take 45 minutes. The point is, at the end, the cloves should be absolutely soft, so if you squeeze them, they'll just come out.
Peel the potatoes and don't forget to cut out those pesky potato eyes.
Okay, next once the potatoes are peeled, we need to cut them into equal chunks because we're going to boil them so that this way they will all boil at the same time. So let me fill this pot with water. That was a fun sound. Whew. All right, so I like to add a little bit of salt to the water so that it will flavor the potatoes while they're boiling. Okay, so just a handful, like that. So while the potatoes are boiling, we can get our herbs ready. Although parsley and dill are soft herbs, you still want to get rid of the stems because it will be so much nicer for texture of your mashed potatoes if you don't have those stems. So we have approximately 3 to 4 tablespoons of chopped herbs here. You can increase or decrease the amount depending on your own taste. Once you got your herbs ready, you can put them back in the fridge so they don't wilt too much while you're waiting for your mashed potatoes to be done. Okay, so I just drained the water from the potatoes, and trick number 2 after choosing the right potatoes is to make sure that your potatoes are really, really dry when you drain the water. So what you want to do is to let them steam dry for a little bit and actually shake them a little bit to make sure that every bit of water is gone, because that's what is going to make your potatoes fluffy. So now we're going to dump the potatoes into a bowl. Okay. I'm gonna use a potato masher. There are different ways to mash potatoes. You can use potato ricer, potato masher. Some people use handheld mixer or even a food processor. I'm actually old-fashioned that way. I like my masher and I think that it does the job. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let me show you that roasted garlic that came out of the oven. So see how dark it looks inside? It's just to squeeze the cloves directly into your mashed potatoes. Look, they're coming out. And don't worry that it seems like a lot because roasted garlic doesn't have a very intense flavor. It's really mellow and really nice. Okay. So we've got all the garlic there. Next thing, I'm gonna add milk, and I always have hot milk. So we go, and then I'm gonna add my butter, and I'm gonna start mashing. I'm gonna get salt going. Obviously salt to taste, so I'm not gonna tell you the amounts. Oh, I can smell that roasted garlic. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna check if the potatoes are sufficiently mashed. And after that, I'm gonna add herbs. I like this texture. They're so fluffy. So all we're gonna do now is just to fold the herbs into our mashed potatoes. Oh, the smell is so amazing. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna get more salt into it.
After the salt has been added, gently fold in the herbs with a spatula or spoon.
Okay, so our potatoes been mashed and fluffed and buttered, and the herbs been folded in. So now we just have to taste and see if there's enough salt. There we go. I cannot tell you what that roasted garlic does. It just perks them up immediately. These mashed potatoes are just the best. They're suitable for every day or for special occasion. If you feel like you don't have enough time, you don't have 45 minutes to roast garlic, you don't have to do it specifically for this recipe. Whenever your oven is on, whatever you're cooking in the oven, just throw that head of garlic and put it in the fridge, and you can use it anytime. It keeps for a really long time. But now let's try it. Yeah, I actually don't need anything on the side. I could just eat a bowl of mashed potatoes and I'd be happy.